Today we'll be covering pages 4 and 5 of our Chapter 3 notes packet. So you want to start on page 4 of your notes packet. Section 3.4, adding and subtracting radicals. We've already looked at simplifying radicals, so now we'll get into the operations of adding, subtracting, and multiplying today. To add or subtract radicals, the radicals must be like. Combine the coefficients and carry along the radical. Number 1, 3 square root of 2 plus 5 square root of 2. These radicals are like, so we combine the coefficients. 3 plus 5 is 8, and carry along the radical, square root of 2. Number 2, 7 square root of 3, subtract 5 square root of 3. They are like radicals. 7 subtract 5 is 2, carry along square root of 3. Number 3, square root of 50 plus the square root of 2. These are not like radicals, so we must simplify the square root of 50 first. 50 is 25 times 2, and the square root of 25 is 5. So we have 5 square root of 2 plus the square root of 2, which will equal 6 square root of 2. Number 4, 3 square root of 12 minus square root of 4 plus 5 square root of 3. The square root of 12 must be simplified. 4 times 3 is 12. Square root of 4 is 2. 2 comes out. Square root of 3 remains, and bring down the 3. That means 3 times 2, which is 6. So we have 6 square root of 3 minus the square root of 4. Well, that's a perfect square. Its square root is 2. Minus 2 plus 5 square root of 3. We just bring down. Combining the like radicals, 6 square root of 3 plus 5 square root of 3 is 11 square root of 3. Subtract 2. Number 5, simplify the square root of 8. Thinking 4 times 2. The square root of 4 is 2, so 2 square root of 2. Bring down the 3 that was in front. 3 times 2 is 6. So we have 6 square root of 2. Subtract the square root of 2. 6 minus 1 is 5. 5 square root of 2. Number 6, 5 square root of 8 needs to be simplified. 4 times 2 is 8. Out comes its square root, 2. So 2 square root of 2, bring down the 5. That meant 5 times 2, which is 10, square root of 2. Minus 3 times the square root of 18. We'll write as 9 times 2. Simplifying, square root of 9 is 3. So that's this 3, and then the square root of 9, 3 times 3, square root of 2. 3 times 3 is 9, so minus 9 square root of 2. And then finally bring down our last radical, the square root is 3. And now when we combine the like radicals, 10 square root of 2 subtract 9 square root of 2 is 1 square root of 2, or simply the square root of 2, and plus the square root of 3. Now we're going to do 5 problems from the list of problems on the side, starting with number 11. Okay, so we have number 11, square root of 24 xy squared. We're going to simplify this first, and because these are not like radicals as they are. For 24, 4 times 6, so 4 times 6, x times y squared, circling the perfect squares, taking out their square roots. So 2y square root of 6x. Then take the square root of 54 xy squared. 54, 9 times 6, times x times y squared. Circling our perfect squares, out come their square roots. 3y, square root of 6x remains. Okay, so now we have like radicals. So 2y square root of 6x plus 3y square root of 6x is going to equal 5y square root of 6x. Next, we're going to do number 13. The square root of 98c to the fifth. Let's see, 98, we were thinking 49 times 2. C to the fifth, c to the fourth is perfect square. So we'll break c to the fifth down into c to the fourth times c minus the square root of, sorry, let me go back and finish this. 49 and c to the fourth are perfect squares. Out come their square roots. 7c squared, square root of 2c remains. Minus the square root of 18c to the fifth. 18, 9 times 2, c to the fifth, c to the fourth times c. Circling our perfect squares, pulling out their square roots, and square root of 2c remains. 7c squared square root of 2c minus 3c squared square root of 2c equals 4c squared square root of 2c. Next, we're going to do number 23. I'm actually just going to move this over to 23 and do some of the work right underneath. Okay, this is simplified. 2 times the square root of 3y is simplified. Minus 5y squared plus 4 times the square root of 3y. The only thing that needs to be simplified here is the square root of 36y to the fourth. They're both perfect squares. So the square root is 6y squared. We'll just write it underneath here for now. Okay, and now combine like terms. 2 plus 4 is 6, so 6 square root of 3y. And negative 5y squared and positive 6y squared is a positive 1y squared. So we have 6 square root of 3y plus y squared. Next number we are going to do from this column is number 29. We have cube roots. We need to simplify both cube roots here. Cube root of 54, we'll break 54 down into 27 times 2. Cube root of 27 is 3. So we have 3 cube root of 2. And the cube root of 128, 64 times 2 is 128. And the cube root of 64 is 4. So we have 3 cube root of 2 plus 4 cube root of 2 is equal to 7 cube root of 2. And the last one, number 37 on this page, before we move on to page 5, this is square root. Okay, so let's simplify. 25 times 2 is 50, and then x squared times x. Circle our perfect squares. Out come their square roots, 5x, square root of 2x. Square root of 200, x to the third. We'll express 200 as 100 times 2, x to the third, x squared times x. Circle our perfect squares. Pull out their square roots, 10x, and then the square root of 2x remains. So we have 5x square root of 2x plus 10x square root of 2x equals 15x square root of 2x. So that's adding and subtracting. Right. You have to have like radicals in order to add or subtract. You combine the coefficients and carry along the radical base. On to multiplying. Multiplying and dividing radicals. You multiply, divide coefficients, multiply, divide radicals, and then simplify the result when possible. So we're not simplifying first, rather we're multiplying and then simplifying. So square root of 2 times the square root of 10 is going to be the square root of 20. And then 4 times 5 is 20, square root of 4 is 2, so 2 square root of 5. Number 2, 3 times 5 is 10. No, let's try 15. Square root of 2 times the square root of 6 is going to be the square root of 12. And now again we simplify the radical. 4 times 3, and the square root of 4 is 2. Bring down the 15. 15 times 2 is 30. So 30 square root of 3. $80 divided by 5, square root of 80 divided by square root of 5 is equal to the square root of 16, which is 4. $48 divided by 2, 24. Square root of 8 divided by square root of 2, square root of 4. That's a perfect square. Square root is 2, so 24 times 2 is 48. Okay, so that was simple multiplication and division. Now the next 6 problems we're multiplying. Okay, now just take your time here. 2 square root of 6 times the binomial we'll have to distribute. Right? You look inside parentheses, you cannot combine. These are not like radicals. So distribute. 2 square root of 6 times 5 square root of 2. 2 times 5 is 10. Square root of 6 times square root of 2 is square root of 12. Minus 2 times 1 is 2. Square root of 6 times the square root of 15. I believe that's the square root of 90. Now simplify. 12, you're thinking 4 times 3. Square root of 4 is 2. So I'm going to do this in one step. 2 comes out, and I times it by 10. So I get 20 square root of 3. Minus square root of 90. 9 times 10. Square root of 9 is 3. 3 comes out. I multiply it by the 2 to get 6. So that'd be minus 6 square root of 10. So that's 20 square root of 3 minus 6 square root of 10. Number 2, 3 plus the square root of 2 squared. Well, that means 3 plus the square root of 2 times 3 plus the square root of 2. And yes, we need to FOIL. All right, first terms, 3 times 3 is 9. Outside, 3 times the square root of 2 is 3 square root of 2. Inside, square root of 2 times 3 is 3 square root of 2. And last, square root of 2 times square root of 2 is the square root of 4, which is 2. Combining like terms, just replace that with a 2. 9 plus 2 is 11. 3 square root of 2 plus 3 square root of 2, these are like radicals, so we add the coefficients, that's 6, and carry along the square root of 2. So 11 plus 6 square root of 2. Number 3, foiling here, 2 times 5 is 10. Outside, 2 times the square root of 6 is 2 square root of 6. Inside, square root of 6 times 5 is 5 square root of 6. And the last, square root of 6 times square root of 6 is going to be square root of 36, which is 6. When you take a radical and multiply it by itself, it removes the square root symbol. Combining 10 plus 6 is 16, and 2 plus 5 is 7. So 16 plus 7 square root of 6. Number 4, another foiling. 3 times 3 is 9. Outside, 3 times negative square root of 7 is negative 3 square root of 7. Inside, positive square root of 7 times 3 is positive 3 square root of 7. And the last, positive square root of 7 times negative square root of 7 would be negative 7, right? Negative square root of 9, or excuse me, negative square root of 49, and square root of 49 is 7. So combining 9 minus 7 is 2, and negative 3 square root of 7 and positive 3 square root of 7 is 0. So our answer here is 2, which is a rational number. Number 5, foiling still. 2 times 1 is 2. Outside 2 times negative square root of 3 is negative 2 square root of 3. Inside square root of 12 times 1 is the square root of 12. Last square root of 12 times negative square root of 3 is negative square root of 36. You have to simplify the square root of 12. That's 4 times 3 is 12. So 2 square root of 3. So let's see, I have 2, subtract 2 square root of 3, plus 2 square root of 3, minus the square root of 36 is 6. So 2 subtract 6 is negative 4. And this combines to be 0. Almost done. The last one, number 6. Again, still foiling. Try it on your own. Pause the video, try it on your own, and then come back and check. 5 times 1 is 5. 5 times negative square root of 2 is negative 5 square root of 2. Square root of 8 times 1 is the square root of 8. And the square root of 8 times negative square root of 2 is negative square root of 16. Simplify the square root of 8. 4 times 2. Square root of 4 is 2, so 2 square root of 2. Simplify, the square root of 16 is 4. We have 5 minus 5 square root of 2 plus 2 square root of 2 minus 4. 5 minus 4 is 1. And negative 5 square root of 2 and positive 2 square root of 2 is negative 3 square root of 2. So 1 minus 3 square root of 2. And this completes our video for today.